20 years. Congratulations, Patrick, and everybody who's been involved. I stand on the protocols of all that has been mentioned before. And I just have a few remarks to share a little bit of history. The history that I share with the company, the history that I share with Patrick as an individual, and with my other colleagues on the board whom I'll mention at some point. So Patrick and I first met in the corridors of privatization unit. That was at Communication House, where we used to sit. So I think we were observing each other at a distance, and then we met again at the golf course. We then met again supporting some of the recruitment. I remember the office at Kamocha, just before we moved Semauta Road. Well, then he asked me to join the board. That is 13 years ago. And I never said no. I joined the board. I found Richard Masereji. Please stand up for recognition. I found Rita on that same board. I hope I don't forget anyone else. But anyway, those were plus Patrick himself, of course. And that's when we started the journey of professionalizing the governance of Q-Sourcing. I'm sure the reasons why he asked us to join that board: to improve decision-making, to improve risk management, to improve compliance, to improve reporting, and ultimately to improve performance. And if this was an AGM, we would have been showing the results of all that hard work, all that effort, and I believe the value that we have added as a board to this organization. Not taking away from management, of course, who do all the heavy lifting, but being that intermediary which takes care of all stakeholder interests. Stakeholders being shareholders, stakeholders being directors, management, employees, and customers. In this particular case, it's an interesting dynamic when the shareholder is Patrick, the MD is Patrick. So he's everywhere. You're talking shareholders, you find him, you run into him. You've got to change your language a little bit. You're talking about the board, you run into him again. You're talking about management and employees, trying to enforce implementation. It's him again. So it's a delicate balance. But I think it's been 13 years of wisdom, 13 years of insights. Patrick has been a great listener. And he's shown an attitude of learning and growth. I think at one time one of the values of this company was empathy. And that's one of the things that he has demonstrated. And I want to believe that I speak on behalf of the staff as well when I say he's been a great listener, he's been a great learner. In case he hasn't, just let me know and I will find a way of passing on that message gently. We've had long, interesting conversations. And sometimes they felt like counseling sessions. As chair of a board of a small company, you wear so many hats. You're an advisor, you're a recommender, you're an accountability partner for those who know about coaching. So I've had to wear all those, sometimes without any training. But it's been a great journey. And I believe if any other attribute had been shown by Patrick, I wouldn't be standing here. But the fact that I'm standing here 13 years later is testimony of all the positive attributes embedded in this gentleman called Patrick. So it's been a wonderful journey, and at one point, we did request to participate as shareholders in the company. Unfortunately, he didn't say no. He said yes. We invested a certain amount of money, and at one point, the dividends we received as shareholders were almost equal to the initial investment. I'm deliberately avoiding specifics. I'm not sure whether any of your guests here from URA, but we do declare our taxes as directors. But it's been a fantastic journey in that regard, in terms of the return on investment. And we've been proud to see that the value that we've added has also translated into a personal benefit. So I think we're going to be here for the next at least 10 years. We pledge as a board to continue adding value to this organization. And here's to 10 more years, 20 more years of success as the company now evolves into a group structure, strengthens its governance. I know when we talk about corporate governance, it's got all sorts of meanings. And Aga has been on the board of a big organization. He's on the board of a medium-sized organization. It's not the same. It comes with costs sometimes, high costs in our ability to attract and retain talent. But that has been our continuous effort, and I think it's been done well. So we look forward to many more years of performance, and one day we shall have sufficient dry powder to be able to attract and retain the sort of talent that we see in other bigger multinationals as we evolve into a multinational ourselves. So thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.